I'm from the future. I'm from the future. I'm from the future. I'm from the future. I'm from the future.
And welcome back to episode 20 of the Future Moguls podcast.
And thank you so much, Samuel Steesmore, for that beautiful intro music.
I love it.
Hell yeah.
We're right here at the illustrious Timeless Studios. Special guest, Ronin Halloway.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We're very happy to have you here today with us, Ronin.
Happy to be here, man. For sure.
You've got a lot of stuff going on. We got a lot to talk about. So before we do that, we're going to go ahead and plug Timeless real quick just again. If you are a recording artist, you have a podcast, you do voiceovers, anything like that, you can come here at Timeless and you can be a member for $99 a month. What does that get you, Gravel?
It gets you a whole lot. It gets you discounts on your sessions. It gets you placement in Double Sin.
Oh, it does get you placement in Double Sin.
Discount on Dre Shot This videos.
20% off.
That's deals.
You also get one free mix a month, and you earn points for every dollar you spend here. So you're going to save more and more money the more you get in here.
Wow. And I know if you're booking with our engineer, Chris Turner, you're going to get some good quality stuff back.
Yeah, he's getting busy. He's had to switch us around a few times because, you know, he's got lots and lots of
big timing
clients
now. Big timing.
That's a deal. That's crazy.
But what's important is we got in here now, and we're here with our guest, Ronin Halloway.
Woo!
So actually, if you want to just start right off the bat, you released a new video today, actually.
Yeah, I did. It's called Fruit Fly. Super excited to finally release it. We filmed it like in October. So,
and I don't know if this was just me snooping around, but that was on Spotify for a minute also, wasn't it? Maybe I just found it a couple days early.
Yeah. So just to get out ahead of everything, we're still kind of figuring out the order of exactly how to time everything right, but we didn't want to say, hey, it's on Spotify when it wasn't. So didn't talk about it, uploaded it, and then we got the premiere with Ghetto Blaster locked in. So
it's a good look.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So we're allowed to tell people it's on Spotify?
Yeah, it's out now. It's out on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube.
And it's already playing on the Double Sin 20 playlist, so you can go check that out.
Oh, yeah.
Just making sure I can say that it's out there.
Oh, yeah. Awesome.
The video was dope, though. It was a little spooky. I can tell you shot it in October. It was a little dark.
Yeah, definitely kind of one of my things that I like to do. You know, I don't like to do everything there. Like the Forever video, oddly, that came out recently. That was definitely a little bit more like Tribe Called Quest influenced and whatnot.
Yeah,
but
I would agree with that.
This was definitely Spooky Boy. This is definitely the David Bowie kind of deal here. So.
Yeah, and you tend to have a lot of that kind of vibe with your music. I don't exactly know how to explain it, but you tend to have more theatric elements to your videos. The first one that I can remember thinking back to, the Drummer Boy, you had your head on fire in it, and you tend to kind of have more of an acting element to it, where you're not just performing one of your songs on video. You're kind of putting a narrative to it that lives alongside of the lyrical content. So
yeah, it's like a whole piece of art, like a theatrical kind of.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to. That's definitely kind of the vibe. I come from I guess you could say a metal background. Like I listened to nothing but exclusively death metal for 12 years. I don't listen to it a whole lot anymore because I kind of burnt myself out. I still love it, represent all that good shit.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Chuck Schuldiner from Death, the band. I think today was the anniversary of his passing, actually. But that's definitely something I've always loved. Even down to in Fruit Fly, I do have some emo boy makeup on. And I was
gonna ask
shit.
what. Yeah, you were definitely in some eyeliner. Yeah,
yeah,
scary.
Yeah,
but that's kind of plays into what I meant about the theatrics. You're actually putting an effort into the actual visuals. It's not just here's what it looks like if I was lip syncing the song.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And you kind of pulled that out. You did the video earlier this year with Siri from Tribe, the Gallows video.
Yep.
Woo!
The end of that video was kind of a soliloquy with yourself. And there was a lot of kind of, not science fiction-y, but it was kind of grungy, glitchy, kind of like horror effects to it. And it was you can see your metal influence, and you tend to do a lot of I don't know, like eye rolls and stuff like that. That kind of it gives it like a horror effect, and it brings it out of more than just music and makes it a whole different piece of content to be consumed.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm glad that it's coming through, and the most difficult thing about that was just to try to embrace it early on. Like when I first started, like with Drummer Boy and the Roll in Peace video that me and Lunar did before that was like a little more straightforward, you know. But then with Drummer Boy, you know, that one's like way darker, and I just that was one of my first times kind of stepping out a little bit more, because you don't want to like look bad, you know?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
It's and it's a very fine line, especially when you're talking about that kind of spooky stuff. And so thank you. I'm definitely glad that that's coming across as effective and visceral and something that people can feel.
You had the background in heavy metal, death metal, or however. I know there's so many different genres. With
they've sub-genred the shit out of metal.
Yeah.
But how did you gravitate towards hip hop and rap?
So that is always I love telling the story. So college, I was in school for music and everything, and like a lot of people, I lived in the dorms starting out.
Where'd you go?
I was at Calhoun, so I was at UC.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
And that's where I met Audley, and so I met him and like a few other people just outside at night, you know, like smoking cigarettes, just hanging out, like trying to figure out what the move for the night is, and beatboxing and freestyling. And so freestyling is how it all started. It was like I started to participate kind of just for fun, to be part of the crew, just to kind of like, you know, and you know how people are like, man, come on, rap, bro. You can do it, bro.
Yeah.
Like, so I just started doing it. And then I think where it started to snowball was when I wanted to get good at it. And so I would practice, and I started listening to like more of the classic records. You know, it was like, what is Only Built for Cuban Links? You know,
and about what year was this, just to put context to where
this started in 2011.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was like the earliest.
I was at UC in 2011, and I wish I would have walked up on you freestyle.
Yeah.
I graduated high school in 2011.
Really?
Yeah.
Cool. We know we're old gravel. Thanks.
If he's in college in 2011, then
No, I'm kidding. It's not that much. It's only a couple years.
Yeah. Just like two years ago. You know?
Oh Lord. So you've been with Audley since the jump.
Very frequent collaborator. Yeah. I think that was the first experience I had with you. Was you guys had a joint set at Ubon Festival.
Yes.
And that was where I first was introduced to Ronin, because Audley was part of the organizers, and I knew Audley, and he said, I'm doing a set with another MC, and that's what happened.
Yeah, dude, that was a lot of fun. I always joke about that because like I didn't have a beard at the time, and so anytime I see like photos from the performance, I'm like, oh my God. Like,
what do you think people do when they see pictures of me without a beard? Like my girlfriend will post a normal picture of me without a beard, and she won't think anything of it. I'm like, yo, people have never seen me like that. There's a lot of people who've never seen that. Like, you gotta watch it.
I don't think I've ever seen it. We've done 20 episodes of this podcast together, and I've not seen a beardless Matt. Or a beardless Ronin.
I've had this for much longer than 20 episodes of podcasts.
Oh, I know. I know.
Oh, sheesh.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah. But yeah, oddly, definitely kind of showed me a lot about how he related to hip hop and freestyling and the craft and everything. And I remember one of my favorite memories I was just reflecting on because, so I work at a restaurant called Sacred Beast. And
do they have any vegan food?
They do. They do.
Well, then I will be there at some point.
Matt's interested.
The vegan Geta, it's very good. Shouts out Sacred
Vegan
Beast.
Geta?
Yeah.
Now you're talking my language. All right, keep going. About the other stuff. We'll talk about food later.
Yeah. So we have a really, really cool playlist. It's a lot of hip hop. So Ready or Not by the Fugees is on there. It's one of the songs. And I remember there was the whole day where me and Audley got together at his crib and like we wrote. And this was like one of the first, maybe like 3-4 times I'd ever written. And he was just showing me all kinds of music. He showed me Jean Grey and Lauryn Hill, because we were just kind of talking about like women in rap. He was kind of, I was like, do you know any like what's up with girl rappers? I was like, I'm not familiar with that yet. And so he showed me those two. And I remember hearing, and this is a really, really cool, kind of touching on the David Bowie thing. When he played Ready or Not, it was like, I got goosebumps because that was such a huge hit. And I was like, I know I've heard this before. Like maybe I was little, like out, like on the radio, distant, like memory that you can't quite remember the specific. And that's just one of the coolest experiences.
So you heard it, but you'd never listened to it.
Yeah. So it was kind of like, and again, like drawing that comparison with Bowie, it's kind of like reconnecting to this very universally accepted thing. Recently, it happened to me again with Pink Floyd, which is like, I mean, one of the hugest things in music ever. And
absolutely,
you know, just having that kind of individual thing where you're like, man, I've never actually played that album by myself. And then you do it and you're just, it's like, wow, I feel like in part of the club now. Like
you get what all the hype's about.
Yeah. Yeah. So
it's called wisdom.
Yeah. Collective consciousness, music, all of that craziness.
And the thing about Pink Floyd specifically is they leave a lot of things in there for you to find. Like people have been listening to Pink Floyd for decades and decades, and they're still finding things in there. Like, that's cool.
Yep. Probably finding some extra stuff while they're all tripping on acid and stuff.
I mean, that helps. You can definitely hide some stuff when you're in that mind state.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's kind of like where I'm hoping to go with my stuff down the road. Like as I continue to develop kind of, I have characters that I'm developing and stuff. One cool thing, you know, that's happening, I think JB may have touched on it when he was here, but we have a project coming out next year.
I don't think he touched on that.
I think he did touch on it, but he did not say who it was with.
Oh, yeah, he didn't say who it was with.
Full circle, guys. Full circle.
Yeah.
The future Moguls are slowly putting together this puzzle.
It's exciting. We're super stoked. It's basically, it's a 3-part series. It's called the Icarus Trilogy. All shot and directed by Bradley Thompson, who did Fruit Fly.
Oh, wow.
And we're going to be releasing those in January, and that's going to culminate in a show, Motor Pub, Thursday, February 7th, with the band Phlox. So it's going to be the 3 of us, and at the end of the show, we're all going to get on stage and perform the songs with Phlox.
Motor sounds like a great venue to do that. It's traditionally a rock bar, but you've performed there several times with Oddly. The Pink release show, I believe, was
that's awesome.
A great release show, to say the least. Yeah. But yeah, that's a great venue to do something like that. When is that again?
That's February 7th.
February 7th.
Yep. Mark the calendars.
Woo!
That's big news.
I'm excited.
I'm going to have to guess, is there a lot of Smokeface production on the project?
There is. Yeah. It's so the first and the second or the third tracks are both Smokeface, and then a close friend by the name of Monk, who's one of JB's friends, also goes by Jay. Who, funny story, I actually like met a long time ago, like at some random house show. And then when JB told me what that beat was from, he was like, it's my friend Jay. I was like, wait, like, is it this guy? You know, and he showed it to me. I was like, holy shit. So, you know, again,
that's
like
crazy. Someone named Jay, and you're like, oh, it's that one guy.
I don't know why I thought, I was like, maybe it's this guy. Yeah, like, and it was.
Not to mention the JB's name is Jay.
Yeah.
Also,
yeah.
I mean, to
Jay
pick that
Hill.
out is incredible.
Good job. Good job.
Smokeface is a very frequent collaborator with you. Is he? This actually, your project coming out next year is a lot to do with Smokeface, right?
Yes. So that is exclusively me and him. Fame from YNO is on the project.
Oh, wow.
Oddly's on the project.
Papadora, I guess. Since is it forever on the project?
No. So
okay.
These are like that's like a little bit on the way. Like we haven't released anything from it.
Oh wow! So these are all just
we're just rocking.
Wow.
Right
Okay.
now. Yeah.
Releasing some loose.
You're leaving a
singles
lot to be desired. Then okay.
We're hoping to please everybody with the songs. So the project, the story behind it, and it's kind of a cool story. It's 4 years in the making. So the project is going to be called Pressure, which of course definitely a lot of similarities to YNO's title for that Pressure. Purely coincidental and everything. Like we ended up recording a lot of stuff like back in 2015 and whatnot. And then it just kind of like sat, because me and Smoke at the time, you know, just, it was kind of a perfectionist thing. It took so long for us to like agree on where it was going, what we wanted to do with it, how we were going to put it out and everything. And now we're just at a point where we whittled it down to 8 songs. We're like, yes, let's do this. And we're gonna do a couple more videos for it and have that out hopefully in May.
So you are going to start releasing some visuals from the project, but as of right now, the 2 that are out, Forever, Fruit Fly, and coming soon, another one. Is that one also non-project, or is that?
Yeah, that's just another Lucy. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
See, I'm sitting here thinking you're gearing up for something big.
Well,
these
yeah.
are just, well, yeah, but these are just little appetizers, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. Yep.
But I mean, there's a lot of big artists doing that. So, I mean, take notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like it. And of course, like you sometimes critique your process or whatever, because I think there'd definitely be an argument for us to try to like go immediately into that album material now. At the same time, though, you know, we didn't decide to re-release that record until like midway through this year. And some of these collabs have been in the works since 2017. So it was also a matter of just like, yo, like this material needs to happen too. So it's a good problem to have. Like I've got this one and that one, and I'm just trying to figure out when to drop it all. And
so you mentioned you're re-releasing the Pressure, right?
Yeah.
I was going to bring that up because I swear I've listened to something by you called Pressure on Spotify before.
Yeah. It was out there. Yep.
When I went back and I saw Fruit Fly on there, I was like, did I imagine that Pressure was on here like a year ago?
Yeah. Yep. So
I'm out there snooping. If you got a Spotify, I've creeped on you.
That's Matt.
I creeped on Evan's Spotify, and I saw a change I had suggested made. So my work is going noticed.
Nice.
Keep digging. Keep on digging.
Yeah, we're excited to get that out, and it was also just about like making an opportunity for more people to hear it, because it was 14 songs long when we released it, and when we decided we wanted to try to give it some new life, we realized that's entirely too long, especially if we're trying to reach a broad audience, like, or broader, like greater, like regional, even hopefully a little bit of national, you know, looks somewhere. Yeah, so the one that I'm really excited for is this song called Sirens. And it's like, it takes that movie element to like probably the most conceptual that I've done. It's kind of like drawing from that mythology thing about the Orpheus and the sirens and everything. So yeah.
Very excited for that.
Video for that?
What's that?
Is there a video for that, or will be?
We are going to be shooting that very, very soon. We're definitely kind of like in the storyboarding stage right now, settling on like the colors we want to focus on. There's like a very, very like huge like switch up at the end. Not quite. I mean, it's pretty crazy. Like Astro World is like a good comparison to that, like where it's just like boom, like, and it's a different beat. So at the end, we're trying to figure out how to effectively like kind of show that it's almost like a death scene.
I love songs like that, like where it just switches up. Kendrick does it a few times, and those are my favorite. Even Tyler doesn't really do it, Tyler the Creator, but when he is putting out a couple new singles, he'll mash them together before the album comes out into a video. Yeah, and I love when he does that. I kind of wish the song was like that. You know,
I definitely like the approach you're taking. Like you said, it's a good thing to have all these different projects out here, and you're consciously thinking about how to release them. Nothing like makes me more mad or upset is when an artist just drops a project out of nowhere. Hey, it's on SoundCloud. Everyone go listen to it. And I'm like, on a Tuesday, randomly, like, I'm just like, dude, if you work so hard on that and that's how you're going to like release it, why should I check it out? You haven't done anything to like, you know, get us wanting to listen to it. So it's just like, nothing makes me, it's common sense, it seems like, but.
You still have to sell people. I mean, even if you're not selling an album, getting someone to listen to it is still selling them.
You're not Kanye, you're not Drake. Like, it's not gonna.
We have 24 hours in a day, and there's a lot of like, for people like us, there's a lot of music we want to get to. Like, there's no one saying that you won't be in the mix, but like, you want to solidify your spot. Like, tell me why, you know?
Right.
And once you do that, it's a snowball effect. You know, if you become interested in an artist, that sell becomes easier and easier for you, and they can focus on making new fans. Exactly. So once you put in that work and you're consistent, I mean, that's just how fan bases work.
Yeah, I think that's, I mean, that's what's interesting about this is what specifically with Pressure, that's kind of how it happened. You know, at the time, we did do some kind of promo for it on Instagram and whatnot. Like we released some photos that, you know, were supposed to reference a few themes in the songs and whatnot. But we kind of just dropped it, you know, and part of that was also from this feeling. I think a lot of artists can relate. There's like so much fatigue sometimes. Mm-hmm. And that's just, but the...
Creatively, you mean?
Creatively, yeah. Like creatively, it's like you went through all of this emotional output and like evocative experience to make this. And then you just kind of want to give it like, hey, like, but the thing about it is I think where you can make a better connection is when you find out how to have fun with that process of telling people about it. Because you have to if you want to grow.
Yeah.
You can't just, you know, some people like, there's this really, really cool rapper. Shout out to Gifted 9 because we both love this dude. He goes by Ka. He's from New York. He has this album out now called Orpheus and the Sirens. He has an album out called Honor Killed the Samurai. It's almost like...
Is it spelled K-A?
Yeah. Yeah.
That word has a lot of meaning to me. So yeah, that's cool.
Are you Dark Tower fan?
Yes. Oh my God. That's awesome.
Yes.
The worst movie I've ever seen.
Oh, we're talking about the books though.
No,
Yeah, I know. We had this conversation
we won't talk
before.
about that movie. That doesn't deserve any airtime.
Yeah.
Especially if you read the books, like you hated the movie.
Me and Smokeface like both read them like last year. We did like low key like a book club.
Yo, we need to. Yeah, I did it by myself, but I wish I had friends when I did that.
Yep. Hell yeah. That's tight.
Do you know Sleeve, the
Revelations.
fraternity?
Yeah.
He's got a rolling sleeve on one of his arms.
Oh.
You gotta ask him to check that out. Yeah.
That's epic. We need to start a fan club, a hip hop Dark Tower.
Yeah. I'm actually a big Stephen King fan. I'm working through his entire bibliography right now. That's 67 books.
Jeez. Oh.
I'm about 13 in.
Including the Dark Tower?
That's 8 of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, damn.
Gosh. It's so intense. Yeah. No, but that's like, that's definitely kind of, and especially, that's kind of where I want to take my visuals and all that kind of, that craziness, like messages and like Easter eggs and stuff. But with Ka, the rapper, he, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful music. Like little to no drums. It's just like these dusty chopped samples. And he just is like speaking to you. And he like doesn't play shows, but that's just kind of like his thing, you know? And to develop a following like that is a different kind of path to adopt. And he's able to do it, I think, because he was already in a bunch of hip hop groups in Brooklyn, like throughout, like from the early, like late 80s.
Yeah.
All the way up through now when he's doing his current form of music.
Late 80s in Brooklyn, that's like the time and place.
Spot.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but I think when you're talking about like, you know, trying to encourage artists that you see with good music that are just kind of like releasing it and expecting it to just like, you know, widen on its own, you know, you kind of have to encourage them to figure out who they are as an artist and what makes them tick and how to get people excited about that. Even if it's something goofy, like, you know, smoking weed in your living room and like making goofy faces, like a Vine style thing. Like people love that kind of stuff.
It's relatable.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Smoke weed and make funny faces.
Yo, this song's about what we're doing right now.
Hell yeah. That's what a lot of my friends and like Rio and my friend Corin, both of them at Inhaler Radio, like have been helping me with their encouragement on just trying to show people what I'm excited about. I think that's when people say the word branding. I mean, people hate that word. I hate that word.
I love that word. I'm a graphic designer though. So
yeah, I feel you. There's nothing, and I'm not saying any like. I feel like it's like Skyline. It's like one or the other. Like you either love talking about that kind of stuff or you hate it. Especially with creatives. You know what I mean? You have those like more left-brained or more right-brained or whatever. But really branding is just showing people who you are, I think.
Brand, especially on a personal front, is just a synonym for reputation. You can, if you talk about your personal brand, like all you're talking about is your reputation, what people perceive from you. And if you have control over your brand, you have some control over their perception. And that's all branding is helping people think about what you are.
Yeah, I mean, I think you can tell me if I'm right or wrong as an artist, but I feel like an artist wouldn't like branding because it kind of puts them in a box. And like,
but it's a necessary evil, especially if you want to be successful.
But like, I can see that side of thing where they don't want to be put in a box per se, or like, because you're creative.
Yeah.
You want to.
It goes completely against the freedom of art to basically establish yourself as a brand entity.
Yeah, like you said, it's like a reputation.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I mean, at the end of the day, like, I mean, the most popular albums that you go and buy, there's a sticker that it's not even branding at that point. It's a sticker and it says, if you like this band, you'll love this band.
Yeah.
And it's like the listeners need those lines drawn, especially for new music.
Oh yeah.
If you can just draw a line, like, to say this sounds like Kendrick is probably a lie. But if you say this sounds like Kendrick, that's 1 million people that might pick it up.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't sound like Kendrick, some will be disappointed, but some will find someone that they like now. So, I mean, I think branding is important. I'll always defend it, even in music and creative entities, especially these days with the internet, which is never going away, ever.
Never.
Maybe with like an EMP or something, but it's not going away on its own. So I think it only helps you to be cognizant of your brand. You don't have to go out there, put your logo on everything. You don't even need to have a logo to have a brand.
Right.
Like people kind of use those interchangeably. A logo is just a tool in your brand. It helps people perceive what you are.
Knowledge.
Boom. That was a little rant there.
No, that's really good. That's really good. I think especially like where we're at now as a scene and stuff, continuing to edify each other and educate each other on different perspectives on how to, because like for example, like I had another project before Pressure. It was like a mixtape SoundCloud release, which I could have done so much more for at the time, but I just put it out. And I've even thought about like, doing some kind of like, I was joking with Smoke about it the other day. Like, dude, should I just resurrect that like for a brief period of time? Like, like one like secret show or something where I just perform this thing like that nobody heard and like one time only kind of thing. Like
secret show, huh?
Maybe.
Wonder what happened to those.
Yeah.
I think that is a great idea. I'm here for a secret unreleased Ronin. Well, I guess it was released, but
secretly re-released.
Yeah, secretly re-released.
What is dead may never die.
Got to give a special giveaways to the people in the crowd that know every word.
Yeah.
Like the day one fans.
Be like Smoke. And oddly, here's a birthday present, dude. Thank you. Oh yeah. So if I did have a question, if you guys could put a Sounds Like sticker on a project of mine, like Sounds Like.
Oh, that's a hard question.
What would it be?
Because I've always disagreed with those.
Damn.
That's a really hard question.
I will say, I do see some Kendrick in you with the delivery and cadences and emotion and energy. You're not just rapping; you feel that punch.
I'm really trying to stay away from like horrorcore rappers because one, I think the great majority of them are pretty corny. But
yeah,
as far as your delivery goes, like they're very precise in their delivery. Like you can definitely like grasp their message. They're very like you're not very straightforward with your theatric about how we've kind of spoken about, but it's just the pronunciation. Like you don't have to like guess at what you're rapping. I like to pull lyrics out of things for posts a lot, and some of them I just can't. But like when I'm listening to your stuff, like it's all crystal clear, and that kind of just comes from respect of the technical aspect of rapping, which I guess comes from your metal background because it's very technical, especially with a lot of the guitar riffs. Like you have to be perfect, and yeah,
I do see that.
I feel that. I
haven't answered your question yet. I'm trying to think of a rapper, or not even a rapper, really. I guess I could go outside that box, huh?
A lot of people say at least I look like Mac Lethal, like a lot. Have you seen that?
I know who Mac Lee. I don't.
I don't think I sound like him.
I don't see it. Plus, all he does is the double time rapping. He's not even really like lyrical. He's just fast. You know,
I can't stand that stuff. I mean, like people will say
there's a time and a place for it.
The best rappers because they can rap fast and lyrical, miracle, spiritual.
There's a couple. I'm gonna go ahead.
Really
I'm gonna defend Tech Nine right here. Okay,
I do like.
I love Tech Nine.
He's one of the double time rappers, and people will go on and on about how he can rap fast, but like you need to break it down. That like the brand, like a logo, that's just a tool in his toolbox. Like, and he has the sharpest one of those tools. Let's be honest. So
he's a G independently for what I mean. Like he's done
what he's accomplished, and I will say this also: his music has kind of lost my interest in the past several years. I think he keeps writing for the same age group, and as people grow up, they kind of grow out of it. So, but yeah,
I'm pretty sure he was like the first one.
I'm not comparing you to Tech Nine unless you want that.
No, it's okay. No, I do really like Tech.
Yeah.
I do. I think. Well, the one thing I always love talking about is like I'm super influenced by grime and British music.
Okay,
I love English hip hop.
It's insane.
Rap. Like
I was into it like 2 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
But like I still love it. Like gigs.
Yes.
Yes.
I get so nerdy. Jamie. Yep.
Fucking. I think he's the hardest out of them all.
I know, like when I think about it, because you have to totally reevaluate how you hear cadences.
Yeah.
Because it's like, and even with me, like with some of the stuff I was hearing, I was like, they are repeating a lot of the same words at the end of these bars, but like it was so like precise and like the destination was so hype for each end of the rhythm, and it's just like it's a whole different way of approaching punchlines, honestly. Because like how many times can you? I mean, I couldn't. I'm too caffeinated to try to emulate it right now. I don't even want to try. I can do it really well if I have a song on, but yeah, I love that. And my favorite rapper is definitely Jay Electronica, hands down.
I've seen you talking about that. That would be a hard person to have as your favorite artist.
I know. The album is never coming.
The other day, D8 was like, this new Jay Electronica song is fire. And I was like, where is it? He was like, nah, they just re-released the old one.
Wasn't it Shiny Suit Theory?
Yeah, it was Shiny Suit Theory. And I was like, I literally raged. I was in my apartment like, what the fuck? Like, oh my God.
I had to look at it for a second because I was like, what, am I in the wrong right now? Because like, did they just re-release this with some brand new features or something on it? But I was like, no,
stressful.
This is the old song.
Very stressful. I just listened to the stuff that he has out. He's got enough out, even if it's like super lo-fi, like mixtape era stuff, and it's all good. And you know, there's.
And we still got his control verse, obviously.
I love that verse.
We talked about that for like a year. I feel like.
Was that his last piece of work that he's like?
He did this. I think the newest thing he's done. Okay, I'll talk about the newest thing he's done that I liked. It was this thing called Letter to Fallon. And it was a single, very, very like theatrical, like the drums were just, it was just like toms. It was and then like a small synth in the background, something.
He doesn't need a lot.
It's true. His voice is huge.
Right.
He's got this huge, like I like to compare him to Guru. I feel like he's got a lot of very similar, like you have someone like Kendrick who like has like, he's basically harmonizing with himself in so many ways, even with the spoken parts. And then you have someone like Jay who is like, who I don't think he even has ad-libs ever. He just like speaks and it's so powerful and effective. Like kind of like Doom even. It's like Doom and Guru. But the newest thing Jay did, it was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. It was a song with Justin Bieber and this R&B singer named Pooh Bear, who I've never heard of in my entire life.
Pooh Bear.
Do you know Pooh Bear?
I think I've heard him on a couple tracks. Like
kind of like more like
a Yellow Wolf song, I think.
Or,
it's like R&B, I feel like.
Yeah.
It's very singy.
It wasn't bad, but it was just so random. And Jay didn't fit on the song at all, in my opinion. The verse was pretty good, but like, it was just like, what is going on?
Just a flex from Bieber saying, I got Jay Electronica on a song.
I guess, yeah. Doesn't matter what he does.
I would have never guessed that would have happened.
Got your stream, bitch. That's all I want.
Rest in peace, Mac Miller. I love
man.
the one with watching movies with the sound off. That J Electronica verse is ridiculous.
Yeah, we just talked a lot about Mac we talked about him in our top 10 episode. We had an episode like 2 days after he died. We talked a lot about Mac.
With Zella and
Zella and Perez.
Yep.
That was a good episode. Circle back and watch that. I'm going to go ahead and guess and say that was episode 7. I think I'm right, though.
Okay. I'll trust your judgment.
That was so sad. I remember getting, it was in our group chat, like a lot of people in their friend groups have a couple group chats, and the biggest one that I have, like, it was Smoke. Smoke was like, guys, and I was like, oh, what's he up to? Because I thought he was gonna, do something facetious. We usually just joke with each other, but he's like, Mac Miller just died. I was like,
yeah, it was crazy. I was on Twitter when it happened. I think I saw Gravel tweet. I just saw like someone tweet something about Mac Miller, and then Gravel's tweet said something like, I hope this news about Mac isn't real. And I was like,
I thought it was one of those fake. I think it was a Friday. I was at work.
It was a Friday, and we were all kind of getting ready to leave. It was kind of that
like
loose time of the afternoon.
Yeah. And then I remember I have this app called Station Head, which is like a online streaming thing. You can make your own radio station as long as it's on like Apple. You can make your own playlist and they'll play, and it's really cool. But they sent me a notification saying like, rest in peace, Mac Miller mix. And that's the first I saw. And I'm like, did he just get into a rap battle?
I'll get to this in like 30, 40 years.
Yeah. Did someone just murder him in a rap battle or something? And it was like, no, I started checking Twitter, just refreshing. Like, this is not going away, dude. It's fucked.
No, Twitter was messed up that whole day.
yeah,
That whole weekend, for real.
everybody, it was just like pictures of him everywhere. Like, and it was just, I don't know, that one definitely affected me a lot. I guess in a similar topic, you had the passing of Triple X
Yeah.
and the passing of Lil Peep. And
they're all kind of related.
yeah, I think definitely with the subject matter that was like a running theme throughout their music.
When you go back and listen, I did it with X. I wasn't huge on Lil Peep, but I went back and listened to see what I had missed out on. Huge into Mac, and I went back and listened to all that. They talk about death a lot, and they talk about drugs a lot, and it kind of makes you feel negligent for not seeing it earlier. Especially with Mac, like, we all knew he was doing hard drugs. He wasn't just like smoking weed and doing, he was like, I mean, there was that MTV show, like he was into it then, and that was years and years ago. We knew about everything with Ariana.
That made it a lot harder too. It was like, I think they had broken up, or she dumped him or whatever. He got into like a bad DUI accident. I think she ended up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. In retrospect, it's clear that something was happening.
Yeah, and it was just awful.
The music just spells it out. I feel like he's always talking about dying young and getting in trouble or hurt from drugs, and here it is.
Just like, and then just after he dies,
it puts a whole different tone on the music. I'll never listen to Good AM the same way.
Yeah.
There's a lot of lines in there that are very painful, knowing how he left.
Oh yeah.
I think especially with the conversations with these most recent passings is, and it's something that didn't come up for me when I started to actually like be conscious of it until a couple years ago. But like, the glorification of like the way that some of the legends used to do recreational drugs and stuff is dangerous. And maybe that's a really like too concise way to put it. Cause live your life. Anybody can do anything. Like being human is not an easy thing, and I don't judge anybody for anything that they do.
But at the end of the day, we all know that about the drugs. No one needs to be lectured about it.
Right. Exactly. And it's I think as artists, I remember like there'd been times like this was back in like 2015, 2016. Like I was always like slamming Peebs. PBRs. Those are slamming peeps, dude. Those are just slamming.
I've never used that phrase before.
Bet you will now. Though.
Yeah, I got a lot of time to use it.
Trying to slam some peeps at the Cyclones game, dude.
Yeah, dollar peeps night.
Let's get it.
Oh Lord.
But now I'm just like, I'm big on recording sober and, you know, and performing pretty much sober. Like I might do a shot before I go on stage, maybe. It's mostly because like I can feel all the emotions personally the best when I do that. But you know, of course, like after the show, like it's time to turn up and all of that good stuff. So, but with
like, yeah, performing and creating, that's got to be a high in itself where you don't really need an extra substance.
Yeah, it definitely is. I recently went like maybe like a couple months or like a month and a half, maybe not quite that long, without having written anything. Because I was working on this current wave of stuff and it was all like visual stuff. So like me getting the creativity out of my system was like going to video shoots, which is awesome. But when I went back and like penned my first verse in a little while, like it felt like going Super Saiyan. It was crazy. Like, and I hadn't even had any coffee or anything that day. And it felt like I had like, like it is a beautiful thing. It's a,
you like your coffee then? If you're not watching, he brought his own coffee
yes.
to this.
Just a little guy.
Yeah.
You know.
Enough to get us through. Him through. Not all. Yeah.
But yeah, rest in peace, Mac Miller and
Peepin'.
And X.
XXX.
The Skins, I really fuck with Skins, I'm not gonna lie.
It's good. It's really good.
It's the same thing I was saying about Mac. Like just listening back, it's creepy. It's creepy. They almost like predict it on themselves.
Like I said in the last podcast, X's death kind of hit me the most hard because he still had so long to go.
Yeah,
and his sound
he was just starting
so much. He wasn't a rapper. I can't.
No, and especially on his new album, like to call that a rap album is to say like a quarter of
it's
the truth.
lazy. Yeah, just boxing him.
Yeah.
It's like it's weird because like especially like with all the the song I think it's called "Staring at the Sky." Like it's a screamo song.
Yeah.
And it's like in reality, I was like, this is like one of the best screamo songs I've heard like in a long time. Because there was a lot of, just like any genre, there was a lot of like bad music that was coming out of like the emo and screamo genres like 10 years ago.
And that's when I have the same similar background as you, and that's when I started turning away. It just kind of felt like there was no culture in it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of when I came over to hip hop, was when I felt like there's like something behind the music here. Like there's a greater motive for all this than just putting out music.
Right.
Yeah. And there's a lot of like style requirements, so to speak, to like be a part of it. I felt like sometimes. And
they've built their own culture within the music,
right.
But hip hop exists as a product of culture. And I think it just has more longevity, and it's just more interesting to me to know that the music's great, but there's more to it.
Yeah.
When it comes to metal, I mean, there's a lot of metal I enjoy, and I think we would probably agree and talk about bands for a long time. But
yeah,
I drifted away at the same time as you.
And it's cool. I think you're definitely right about that. Like the something as a whole. Whereas you do have like with metal, for example, you could definitely hear a band's story and admire their dedication. Because like with bands of any genre, there's like a special thing between people that has to be there, and understanding and dedication, and like, you know, or even the dedication to the band to where like you might not even like one member or another member at all, period. But you guys still play because you know that the band has meaning. But with hip hop, I do feel like there's just more social activism involved, and not to say that rock bands can't have that. It's just
it wasn't born from that.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of like, if we're talking about sad music, there's sad music in hip hop and in rock, and rock it became emo music. Now we have emo rap, which is the most popular version of rap at the current moment. It's what's the most popular.
December 2018. That's what's popping.
Yeah,
I saw a song. It got premiered on Beats One. It was Benny Blanco, but then it was Brandon Urie from Panic at the Disco with Juice WRLD. Like,
Juice WRLD nominated for a Grammy. If you would have told me that earlier this year, like what? But there it is.
That was within the, that was a 2018 thing.
Yeah.
Like, January 2018, not a thing. Now, definitely a thing.
Yeah.
Like,
I think you got a lot of these like younger cats coming up, and that what you guys, that emo music that you guys were talking about that you're into, that was popping at the time. And
I think that just speaks that people are into emotionally transparent music.
Right.
Emo music was huge. If you were at Warped Tour when My Chemical Romance just came out with what was that? I Brought You My Love. No, it was right after that.
was it 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge? Or
It was the one with Helena and I'm Not Okay on it.
Yeah, yeah.
It was like the summer album for emo kids.
Yep.
And I mean, just the fact that people are still into sad music means they're into emotional music. They're into happy music too.
Mm-hmm.
But when you fall in between and you're kind of just making it for yourself, or it's too inward facing and you haven't given people much to grasp onto, that's when I think people don't find much interest in it.
Everyone's gonna be sad.
Yeah.
Get over it, guys.
But some people don't like to some people feel like they don't like to listen to it. And
I love it. It's like I'm connecting with someone. Someone knows how I'm feeling.
That's
right now
exactly
in this
how I
moment.
feel.
So I don't feel alone. You know, that's why music is the great healer.
and I don't want to call your music emo, but yours definitely has that emotional edge to it.
Yeah, I definitely would agree. I think like it's very visceral. I almost like when I'm writing, I do what a lot of MCs do this. They speak the syllable in like a gibberish language, and just like what I try to do is try to come up with a phrase that matches the vowels of what I'm saying. Because I feel like for me personally, vowels like or like whatever, like that brings emotion in speaking at least, and in singing. But I'm definitely like not even, I don't go in with a plan necessarily. I hear the beat and I just like try to black out and make something happen.
Sometimes you don't have to say something. Sometimes you just need to make someone feel something.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there's different ways to do that. You don't have to speak a complete sentence.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
I think Kid Cudi was like a front runner for like what, you know.
Humming.
Yeah.
It's humming. Yeah.
It makes you feel a type of way.
Yeah.
Like
There's a reason people talk about it.
Yeah.
It's not just there, you know.
I think that whole thing kind of got played out for a little bit, like at least in rock music, when there's just a whoa, like just like kind
Gang
of
vocal type thing.
Yeah, it's like
But if you want to hit, people love that stuff. I mean,
it's gotta be right, and it can't be come off as like lazy. Like I couldn't fill in, you know, this part of the song, so I'm just gonna whoa.
Yeah.
But like,
and bands
Kid
have the
Cudi-
luxury of being able to fill that in with music easier than
than
rappers would.
But Kid Cudi, for sure, the hums are legendary.
Yeah.
He's definitely
Young Thug, man. He's like a virtuoso, dude. It's like it's like listening to someone play violin.
That's probably the first time Young Thug has ever been called a virtuoso.
when he first dropped Stoner. I think it was the first song I heard by him. I'm a stoner.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this guy is a fucking clown.
But virtuoso, let's look at the definition of virtuoso, because
But by the time like Danny Glover, Two Bitches came out, I was like, I'm a fan.
The
This
Jeffrey
dude is
Project,
fucking-
that's
oh
what
my
solidified it for me. Like why, like that reggae beat on Wyclef Jean,
yeah.
and it's just like hearing what he did on that, and like, and he's got bars.
You seen the
He does
video
have
for
bars.
Wyclef?
Yes,
That
yeah,
shit's so funny.
yeah.
Like that's genius, and he didn't even have to show up.
Yep,
Genius,
man.
I'm a big Thugger fan. Did you look up the definition?
yeah, it was vague, and it'll probably work. Yeah.
Oh shoot!
Just for good measure, a virtuoso is a person highly skilled in music or another artistic pursuit. So
Yeah.
someone's skilled in anything.
Yeah, that's like way more general than I thought it would.
Yeah.
It's like really
That's a $10 word.
a savant,
So
genius.
I'm here with my fellow virtuosos here.
We're all virtuosos in this studio.
Yeah,
I'm a
dude.
branding virtuoso. Nah, I don't know about that.
Nah, I definitely think
Working on
that
it.
everything, all of the skills represented here are formidable, indeed.
And if we expand that, if we go to the whole city and talk about the skills represented here, there is no reason that we can't do anything.
Yeah,
I mean, there's reasons to go outside Cincinnati and do things, but if you have to do them here, you can.
Yeah.
And even furthermore, if you have to do them for free here, you can. There's people willing to do it. You just have to make those connections.
Yeah, like I always tell people, there's that age-old like interaction, like, hey bro, like let me show you this beat I got, like, or this and that or whatever. And I'm literally always down to hear anything anybody has. You know, I'm definitely willing to work with pretty much anybody. It's like it would have to be like a real outlying situation not to do it. And, you know, sometimes I remember, I'm not going to name specific names. I'm not, not here to do that. But there's this one time I was at the mock bee and someone was like, yeah, if someone tells me they want me to send them something, I'd pull out my iPhone with the iPod right here and be like, yo, we could record on GarageBand right now. It's like boxing them into a corner to like force them to like collaborate. And I definitely don't think that that's the way to go about it. But I definitely think that we were just talking earlier about how like there's, you meet artists, you guys meet artists all the time. And you're like, how haven't I heard this yet? And I'm hoping that the different pockets over the next few years will continue to come together. Even like, Northern Kentucky and all that stuff. Like there's stuff going on everywhere and it's all good. So I think with what's come together recently with a lot of people we frequently hang out with, like people that are playing in Northside and downtown over the Rhine. We were all splintered off and separate. 3 years ago, this wasn't happening. 2 years ago, just starting to happen. And now we're here. So Cincinnati is dope. Cincinnati is very dope.
It's great. It's been a great year. But honestly, I'm not even looking back at this point. I'm so excited for next year.
I know.
Like everyone's posting their Spotify numbers and like those numbers look great, but like let's beat it. Let's beat it in the first quarter.
No shade or anything, but do some of those Spotify numbers look
off?
Fishy? Like some people's like.
Oh, like how did
how those things on Instagram?
Yeah, it's like the thank you for a great year, with all the stats. Yeah, I don't.
There are definitely some that I thought would be higher, and there's a lot that I didn't think would be that high.
Some people like 500K, and I'm like, did you even drop anything?
Yeah, there's also, there's other stuff that plays into it that we may not notice. Like if you land one playlist, one decently listened to and followed playlist, like you'll jump your streams a lot.
Yeah,
just on that playlist. So if they got one, they got one, and this year let's get some more of them on playlists. We've got our own playlist going on Doubleson, the Doubleson 20. No more than 20 songs. So once I find something new, somebody's getting bumped. Who can it be? I don't know. Ronin bumped someone else today. He's already on the playlist. So I wonder who got bumped. We'll see. Also added today, Princess Tiana, Nakia, Shantae, All I Want for Christmas Is You.
Nice.
Very nice.
I also added, in light of the new Donuts and Alcohol episode that came out today, Whoa by Leo Pastel. Also playing on the Doubleson 20.
Leo's awesome.
I cannot get Growth out of my head. It's been in my head for the past since we interviewed.
Is that the one? Really. Is that the one with Muosi?
No, that's
Whoa. Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Growth is the other one. It's great.
Both great.
I need to peep that then. I need to peep that one. Yeah, Leo's incredible.
Good
shout out, I gotta shout out my dude JB Lamage, man.
Yeah.
You gotta.
Funk.
He's been through here a lot. He came on our podcast a couple weeks ago, and shortly after he was on the Table for Three podcast. I believe that episode is called Ashy Nipples, if you wanted to check that out.
Sounds interesting.
I listened to it. They Table for Three, they expand on they go outside of music. We like to stick to music a lot and kind of get into the artist's personal lives, and they go on all social fronts and they bring out their own questions. It's a cool podcast. So Table for Three, look them up. Our boy Tyler Hogan's, Top Rope Tyler over there.
They do a crossover event.
We do need a crossover podcast.
It's like Marvel meets whoever.
Capcom.
Yeah. Well, who's Marvel? No one wants to be DC, do they? I like Batman, but that's about it.
Batman's my favorite.
Yeah.
When it comes to movies,
they did him dirty with Ben Affleck. Come on.
DC cannot get their movies
That is
together.
not my shtick.
That Aquaman looks awful.
Yeah. Marvel's killing it.
Yeah, that's when you get
Thanos.
that Disney money.
Yes. Disney money.
Trying to get some of that. Hey, Disney, if you want a hip hop podcast, our inboxes are open.
We will clean up the language for the check.
Yeah, I've been wondering if I should cuss or not.
We checked explicit on iTunes.
Okay, cool.
We can do anything we want.
To say fuck and
well, goddamn, it's been a good time. I don't know why I had to go like Tennessee for that.
Going country for the end of this podcast.
Hell yeah, brother. Ronin Halloway.
Slamming peeps.
Slam some peeps with me over at the Comet New Year's Eve. I'll be with Tri-Eye.
Hey, that's a great point you just brought up. The Underground Showdown is coming to the Comet with Tribe on New Year's Eve.
Roberto's going to be there. POC is going to be there. Like D8's going to be there. Oddly's going to be there.
They're adding more. They told me they're still talking to people.
Yeah,
it's gonna
everybody's going to do like one song, but it's going to be fantastic. We're going to have a great time.
Consider it the wrap up for 2018.
Yep.
If you liked what you saw in the photos, or if you were at the CEAs, imagine that, but like 3 times as many people.
In a smaller setting and more.
And probably more like one at a time instead of like a hostile takeover, which was cool.
Yeah.
More of that. But
next year, we're just going to run the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Night 2 of the CEAs is just hip hop.
Yeah, dude.
That would be live. The CEA Hip Hop Awards.
Yeah.
No, the Cincy Hip Hop Awards are at Music Hall.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the stuff, no, I'm just playing. But do you think they'd ever, like, if it, like, as the whole city, like, not just hip hop, but if things like start to really like boom with like a lot of people, do you think they would do it at Music Hall?
I think it's a capacity thing. I also think I would love to see what happened to the CEAs at Music Hall. Like, that building needs something like that.
Yeah.
Not to say it doesn't have culture. It just needs that culture. There's a lot of culture at Music Hall. That's
for sure. I'm excited for Blink next year.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that. That's gonna.
I can't believe it's been over a year since it was here. It's coming up already.
Yeah, it'll be 2 years. Along with Game of Thrones is coming back. It's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, Game of Thrones. I wanted to get into that real briefly too. I think I read it was on the Ghetto Blaster post today on your release of the video. You said you want to be like a mix of Breaking Bad and Game of Thrones. Mm-hmm. So where do those two things converge in your creative process?
So I think definitely drawing from kind of almost very Stephen King. It's like you have an urban element. I mean, that's definitely like ingrained in hip hop. So like I definitely want to kind of have moments where I stay there and I explore that. But I'm also definitely into like just complete fantasy. Like, I'm trying to think almost like a Pan's Labyrinth kind of thing, or like, Dark Tower. Just
like a melding of worlds instead of just being in one spot.
Yeah. And slowly starting to introduce characters and because I have this big story that I'm writing. It's called Camelot. And it's characters I've had in my head for like a few years that I'm slowly starting to actually like write about and figure out who they are and like what their connections are. So starting to blur the lines between, it's like, oh, is this Ronin? Like my character is Cicero. And JB, I wrote his character is Icarus. So we're kind of blurring the lines between
the wings of wax.
Yeah. Yep.
Don't fly too close to the sun now.
Wow, looks like we all know up on our mythology here.
Yeah, dude. Oh, sheesh. No, yeah. That's definitely, and eventually like making films, like one of the coolest things that I think came out this year, period, was Dirty Computer by Janelle Monáe.
Oh, yeah.
Good project.
Crazy, dope, amazing.
And the visual aspect of it was,
very, very dope. Like I would love to have the opportunity to work in that setting like someday. But like that, like Game of Thrones meets Breaking Bad meets hip hop music somewhere along the way.
Where does Breaking Bad come into it though?
Oh, like just kind of that. A little bit of like with the narrative direction, like how.
So it's not the meth. It's
no. Yeah. Oh yeah, we got to talk about. I'm talking purely like cinematography, like the way that the shots are done and the art direction with it. It's like having an artistic language that explodes into something really lush and like colorful and like almost like spell casting, but also like has these bleak moments that are very, very like intimate and gritty. And I think, one of the best things that Breaking Bad does is it's like there's so many scenes where you see someone just thinking, and you know what they're thinking because they know how to write to set that up. And I definitely want to like in building tension and anticipation and almost anxiety, like, how does someone create a music video where you have this narrative throughout the whole thing and then the music goes away for a second, you're just in this narrative realm. and you're just totally there, you know. We've seen a lot of like narrative-based music videos over the years, but I just want to try to take it as far as I can and get really good at learning the language of film.
You want the story to be less, you want it to be kind of unspoken, but still understood.
Yeah, for sure.
I understand what you mean by that in Breaking Bad.
But I believe you can do it. The belief is here.
Thank you. Yes.
I do have to say, though, I was late to figuring out about your music, but back when you first submitted for Donuts and Alcohol from, was it the Rolling Piece? I think was the first thing that I had really saw from you. From there to now and seeing you drop these videos, like, coming hard. It's a beautiful thing to watch, and everything you just said on the podcast that's coming in the new year. I don't even know what to expect, and I'm excited.
Thank you, man.
We're just excited. I think that's a good place to leave it.
Yeah.
We're excited.
Very excited.
We're excited for next Friday. I forget the date now. Is it the 27th? Next Friday?
28th.
28th.
Yeah.
You'll be dropping a new video that day. Did I say the wrong day?
No, that's the day.
That's the right day.
Affirmation featuring the Gifted Nine, shot and directed by Lunar Thought, animated by Ben Elsewhere. It's going to be sick. It's going to be creepy.
And it's going to drop on doublesin.com.
Doublesin.com.
I got a sneak peek.
Peep that.
And
I might have let Gravel watch on my phone. I let him watch it.
I was blown away, for real. Like, the animations are crazy. The songs are great. Lunar Thought's doing his thing. Lunar does. I'm excited for the rest of the world to see it. It will be on doublesin.com.
And to learn that is
It'll
not
be
even on
Doublesin.com.
Pressure just gets us more excited for Pressure.
Right.
We're still in the dark on Pressure, but that's okay.
It is coming. Winter is coming. Pressure is coming.
Winter is coming.
Hell yeah. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Thanks for coming, Ronin. We're happy to have you with us. We're excited for everything. Gravel, thanks for coming by today.
Hey, I'm always here.
You are. Who else is always here? Our engineer, Chris. If you're coming to Timeless, make sure you book with him. He makes us sound real crispy. Just listen to this.
Just a good guy.
Oh, yes.
We were actually at Gary Owens this past Saturday.
Oh, yeah?
So we about died. This
would have been a really lonely podcast if I was the only one left today.
Yeah.
But we would have got it done. After we mourned, of course. But I'm glad you guys survived. Gary Owens.
Funny. Gotta support the hometown.
Yep, he records his podcast here. So why shouldn't you?
That's good. All right.
Timeless.
Well, if you haven't watched the Donuts and Alcohol episodes with Lance Hanna and Leo Pastel, go do that. Please. They're funny. They're informational.
And I'm in it.
And Matt filled in for Tatum on both of them. So if you like this, you're going to love that. And who knows? You may see Ronin on there very, very soon. As soon as when the projects are dropping, we'll get you on there and
Yeah. Love it.
we'll get that promo run looking good. So
Well, thanks for joining us for episode 20 of the Future Moguls podcast. I'm signing off. Matt Shear with Double Sin.
I'm Gravel Bear with Donuts and Alcohol.
Ronin Halloway.
And we want you to drink more water and remember that all things serve the beam.
And happy holidays. We'll see you in 2019.